Yeah, no, well, and that part was intentional. I, I think, okay, let me figure out how to answer that. I know why, but let me think about how to put words to it. I think a lot of times dating was, like, it was like passing time. It was like, instead of just like being alone or like sitting with myself, it was really easy to like flirt or like text someone or whatever, even though deep down I knew like this is not my future husband, this is probably not going to go anywhere. But what I've realized, I think, is it's all noise. I don't need it. That's the distraction. It's also, I had to get real with myself of, is that trying to fill a void? And so I think it's been just really nice for me to have literally zero distractions on any front. And just to sit with myself. And I think too, for me, like with the podcast tour and this show and everything, well, the podcast tour specifically, to be able to do that 1000% on my own. And I had a tour manager, you know what I'm saying? Obviously my guests brought a lot to the table, but like I planned that whole thing. I did all of that on my own. That was really important to me, that I didn't have a spouse or someone who I could lean on. And like, I think what I've realized is in my past, I've had moments where I've been scared to put myself out there by myself because that's really vulnerable. And then it obviously all falls on me. So I've tried to lean on other people. And so I think for me, being able to do my podcast tour on my own, being single, not having a man in my life, was really important for me to prove to myself that I could do this on my own. Because the podcast tour was the scariest thing I've ever done professionally, because I've had this crazy fear of public speaking. And I talk about this on the show, but I can do a moderated Q&A. If I have someone up on stage with me, I could do that all day long. It's me going out in front of 1,000 people by myself with my own words. That has been my biggest fear since I was in elementary school. Like, I can remember it clear as day. And so this was the biggest hurdle I've had to face, one of the biggest hurdles I've had to face in my life. And coming off of the tour, knowing I did that 100% on my own was the best feeling. And I like needed that to prove to myself that I don't need anybody else. Does that make sense? I feel like that was just word vomit, and that's the first time I've put words to that thought.